Well, I have my friend Debbie Rozman, who is the president of Heartmath with me. Debbie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, so nice to be here with you, Tony, and all the people, and during this time period. And yes, I'm the presidency of Heartmath Incorporated, and our whole mission is to help, and has been for 30 years, to help activate the heart of humanity.
Yeah.
And heart is something more than just our beating physical heart, but our research showing there's a big connection between our emotional heart, energetic heart, spiritual heart, physical heart. And that's what I believe this whole shift we're going through is about.
Yeah. Well, and so we have, as part of this hackathon, medical experts and small business experts and things like that. And, I wanted to bring Debbie in to talk about, specifically the emotional, emotional health side of this, because, as we were just talking about, like, this is a major event, like a big trauma event. The word unprecedented has been used a lot, but I mean, there's a lot of sadness around this. And I think, being able to maybe build things that can respond to that would be, it is going to be really important. And so, I wanted to get your thoughts on, what, and even just your observations on what we're seeing short term, medium term, and long term.
Right.
So if maybe, I don't know, what are your thoughts, like short term, and like, how are people responding to this? I know you work with, people closely on, getting better connection, to their hearts, and, handling stressful times like this.
Well, it's really interesting. My background's a behavioral psychologist, and I've written, co-authored books on transforming stress, transforming anger, transforming anxiety. So this whole area of understanding the physiological mechanisms of how we react, how we perceive, how we handle stress has been our specialty at Heartmath, researching since 1991, and providing people with simple, scientifically validated tools and technologies and apps to be able to shift that internal nervous system response and be able to maintain more emotional poise, to make better decisions, have more clarity, even in high stress situations, which is what we're experiencing right now.
Right.
And you talk about, just looking through the lens of short term. There's a lot of dimensions of experience going on right now with this global pause that we've all been put into through sheltering at home, businesses such as ours and yours, people working from home, many people being furloughed or laid off because the companies can't afford to maintain payroll, and at the same time, not sure whether they'll even survive. So there's a lot of fear financially. There's a lot of fear health-wise, even though we seem to be getting a handle on flattening the curve as of today. But nevertheless, there's uncertainty about when we'll be having a vaccine or a treatment, or whether you can get it again once you've had the virus. And that creates a lot of fear in people who may have been already anxious prior to this whole epidemic or pandemic.
Yeah.
And just one more other statistic, 30% increase in prescriptions for anti-anxiety medication is something we all need to ponder. And we've been working at Heartmath. We have a lot of Heartmath certified chief nurses in the Kaiser and Dignity hospital systems. And they have been coming to us for support to use the Heartmath techniques and tools and technology during these times, because they're so challenged and they're so giving of themselves and putting themselves at risk. So you can look through the lens of the problem, which are real, and you can also look through the lens of people's care and heart and the higher aspects of humanity that's opening up and coming together, is something I want to spend a little time on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so first, I know Heartmath has a ton of really good resources and stuff that we will, and you just released the Heartmath experience. So we'll link to that, for teams that are interested in working on this aspect of the response. Um, and so I guess, Debbie, what I wanted to talk about was like, so there's a lot of fear and anxiety and things like that. What are some of the things that help us get through that? So that, because I mean, maybe there's a piece of software that somebody can write that
Right.
facilitates a connection or something like that.
Well, the research at HeartMath, and now there's over 400 independent peer-reviewed published papers confirming this, is that the best thing we can do for anxiety, depression, fear, it's not going to go away overnight, but we have to be able to get our heart, brain, and nervous system synchronized. Because what that does, it sends a different signal to the higher centers of the brain and the frontal lobe areas so that we can begin to see new possibilities and a bigger picture. That's what really releases anxiety. Sure, it's the heart connection with friends and support groups and being able to lean on somebody and have that love and that care. But it's love and care and compassion and appreciation and gratitude and those qualities of the heart that research has shown actually activate that heart, brain, nervous system synchronization to open up the bigger picture, the frontal lobes. So
Right.
we can perceive possibilities that we can't see when we're stress reaction. When you're anxious, stressed, frustrated, it shuts down those higher centers of the brain. And it puts us into a fight, flight, fright, survival mode, releasing a lot of cortisol, the stress hormone, maybe adrenaline, because the body is prepped to go into survival. It's a protective mechanism, but it does not provide hope.
Mm-hmm.
And hope comes, that's real hope, from seeing new possibilities. And I'd like to just say anything that we can develop as app developers that can help people not have idealism, but really feel and see possibilities is what we need right now. And when you look at, like last night, I watched We're All in This Together, I forget the name, One World All Together, which was a special on ABC, CBS, NBC, of all these musicians coming together, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, all of and others coming together and hosting this. And it was all about the love, the care, the appreciation for the healthcare workers, how much more connection we're having, even through Zoom meetings where we get to see each other.
Yeah.
There is a lot of heart happening, a whole opening of heart across the planet as people know they need to take care of themselves and take care of each other. So I think that's important, is whatever apps we develop to encourage that, because that creates a rush of other hormones, oxytocin, DHEA, the anti-aging hormone. When we can help people relieve stress, whether it's through laughter or fun or true heart connection with ourselves, it actually produces hormones that are beneficial and healthy to the immune system, for the whole body, and opens up those higher perceptual centers in the brain. So short term, medium term, long term, I feel that's where humanity's going.
Yeah.
And of course, HeartMath developed a sensor where you can see your heart rhythm pattern change, called the inner balance sensor, as you feel gratitude or appreciation or care or compassion. And that helps trains people into how to shift quickly from frustrated, impatient, angry states into this smooth heart rhythm, which signals the brain and opens up better choices and clarity. So people can develop apps. We're hoping to have a Unity plugin very soon that people could actually use our sensor and develop fun games. But that's the medium term, and the long term is whatever we can do to lift the human spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, I love talking to you, because you've definitely been the quickest to go from short term to long term, but that's awesome. I mean, and so really, it sounds like what what you're saying is like short term, we have fear and anxiety, and there's, I mean, we're sitting on the couch and reading and, you know, reading endless news stories about this just devastating, you know, health wise and you know, financial situation that's going on right now. But, you know, how we're going to get through this is to start looking for the opportunities and the, you know, and the connection that we can have, and you know, the elements of the heart, you know.
Exactly right. You know, we decided to give away our new training program, the Heartmath Experience, which has 5 scientifically validated tools and techniques that you can shift mood, shift perception right in the moment. And you're doing it. It's not anyone doing it to you. And you're just seeing a new perspective. And that's probably the best anti-anxiety, antidepressive medication you could do, because it's your inner pharmacy you're changing.
I know you do a lot of work with people that have experienced PTSD. And I mean, what we are all going through is a kind of a traumatic event. So it's going to be really important for us to be able to, you know, come out of this healthy, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prevent and recover, so it's not a long road to recovery. Right. And that's actually been one of Heartmath's specialties, and why our research has been, we created a whole trauma relief program that's actually also free to first responders. That was developed after the Paradise Fire, because there's so much trauma there. And we thought it was developed for the people who endured the fire, but it was the first responders who needed it the most.
Yeah.
Because of their traumatization just helping. And we're going to see that again right now with our healthcare workers. Everybody's appreciating them, and at 7 o'clock at night, we go out and cheer them, and they appreciate that while they're in triage mode. What about afterwards?
I'm wondering, so as far as like ideas to, you know, maybe out of the box ways to get people more like connected with their heart, or not out of the box, but, you know, more quick, you know, things that people could do in a hackathon like this. You mentioned, you know, connection, appreciation,
right.
You know, those sorts of things. I feel like those are set up really well to potentially have a team work on something like, you know, I mean, a cool, interesting way to connect when you're isolated. You know, I don't know, stuff like there was an app you were saying that you thought was pretty cool recently. Do you want to talk about that maybe?
Well, yeah, I just heard about it today. It's called Gentle. It's in beta, and it's people saying, "Hi, I need help. I'm worried," and then how other people can respond to help with kindness. And anything that can help people connect in heart qualities, kindness, care, compassion, appreciation, love, that'll help lift people, and this is the science, out of the worry. Because when we're worried and upset and anxious and stressed, impatient, frustrated, our heart rate variability, our heart rhythms become very jagged and irregular, about how we feel inside when you see it on an app or on a monitor. Mm-hmm. And when we shift and we learn how to shift to genuine feelings, because it has to be a feeling shift or it won't shift your heart rhythm, you see the heart rhythm change into this beautiful sine wave harmonious rhythm. That's what our technology measures, but our apps help train people to do that. Now, there's all sorts of beautiful, creative things people can do, developers can do to help facilitate that shift. I mean, even fun things like this. One of the awesome things that I see, because Earth Day is on Wednesday, is what's happening to the planet Earth. I mean, you just hear things like the vibration of the Earth's crust has gone down because there's less noise pollution, because people aren't driving. This is throughout the planet. You hear animals, you know, are walking down main streets, you know, not just scary animals like fox and bears, but, you know, rabbits and ducks and, you know, goats. I mean, that's fun. That lifts people's spirit to see that. Anything that can open the heart, lift the spirit, that's what we need in apps. And anything that can facilitate people really feeling getting the hormonal changes that they get, and the nervous system changes by sustained feelings of gratitude or love or care or compassion or kindness.
Right.
Softness of heart. that's the effect you want to evoke in the apps you develop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, yeah, that's important. And so it's you know, it's an open prompt, but you know, having yeah, I mean, connection, appreciation. Like, I'm just looking at this app. You know, it's you know, it's, yeah, it's people really, you know, just sending messages and letters to each other. You know, it's a way for us to get connected. You know, maybe it's maybe it's a wildlife spotting out my window app or something like
Right,
that, you
right.
know, like,
Exactly. And it's right now it's spring. Like what beauty do you see? You know,
yeah,
that's now like an Instagram beauty thing. You know, what do you see? And share the imagination. If you look for opportunity to lift spirit, you just look around yourself outside your window in nature. You look at what's inspiring you these days, and you look at the news to see what's the good that's happening, what's inspiring people, because almost every news will end with that, something uplifting after all the horrible
yeah,
statistics. And let that spark your imagination. Ask your own heart, what would nurture people right now? What would facilitate them experiencing more heart connection, not just mind connection, but real real connection, because that's the greatest gift you can give anyone. That is soothing. It's self-soothing, and it soothes anxiety, depression, it facilitates mental health and emotional.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just reminded of John Krasinski, the Jim from The Office, just released that good news program, and it's just like taking off because he just is
Yes,
sitting there talking
exactly.
about good news, you know. And so yeah, we're going to need more of that in a time of bad news, you know,
There's a
having
lot of good news happening. It depends on which lens you want to look at. You can look at both of them. It's like a new world emerging in the old world, because we're not going to go back to where we were. We don't know where we're going, but we can help co-create and shape it to be a kinder world, be a
right,
more gentle world, be a world where we take care of each other instead of just totally focused on our own self uh, aggrandizement or greed or security. Our security, one of the lessons of this virus is our security is dependent upon each other, your
right.
security, each
Mm,
other. We're all so connected. And the more we can highlight and facilitate that awareness that we're interconnected, that it's not just about me or just about America or just about anyone, it's about all of us as one humanity. And people feel that connection, that will be the new world we're creating.
right. And even if we get vaccines for this one, I mean, whatever's next, I mean, we are as
Exactly.
vulnerable as our most vulnerable, you know.
Right.
So we
Exactly.
are, yeah, it is time to get more connected.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. Well, do you have any other thoughts, prompts to help people, you know, think of creative ideas, in
Well,
this?
I think I'd love people to get the Heartmath experience because
Yeah,
it's free and that'll give you ideas. You'll see the research, the science, the techniques. Please feel free. Experience.heartmath.com. Go there,
yeah.
download it, and be creative and connect with Tony or myself on ideas, because we're all co-creating new experiences.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll link to this
Yeah,
stuff too. We're
great.
gonna have a resource center for people also. Um, all right, well, Debbie, thanks so much.
Thank
Always
you.
appreciate you know, talking with you. So
You too. Take care,
thank you.
everybody. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye.